Good morning, YouTube. Happy Thursday. The other day I dropped a video talking about the importance of closing as well as having a consistent lead-driven business. But, throughout the last few weeks, I've been talking to a lot of agency guys that are reaching out to us for final expense inbounds. A lot of these folk, they're already buying leads, whether it's real-time Facebook leads, internet leads, live transfers, telemarketed leads. They're already doing that. But they're always searching for something better. And yesterday morning, I had a meeting with an agency, a small agency of 5 agents, including the owner of the agency. So the owner of the agency, and he has 4 employee agents working on the telephone. And every week, this agency owner is investing approximately $10,000 to $15,000 in leads, ranging again from inbounds, telemarketed, real time, where they have to do the outbound every week. And they've been doing this consistently now for the last 6-7 months. So he reaches out to me and, he tells me he's looking for a better lead. He feels that if he got a better lead, his closing ratios would obviously increase. And right off the top, I would agree with that statement. If you have a better lead quality, it's overall, you're going to write more business because you're talking to people that actually are interested in talking to you about final expense. But before I went into showing this agency owner the quality of our lead, I asked them what his current closing ratio was as an agency. And he told me it was right about 8%. Think about that. So between him and his 4 employee agents that he's paying by the hour, $18, he's closing on average 8%. So 8% of the people they're talking to, they're closing. Think of that. So obviously, if they're doing outbound and not talking to people, they're not closing, right? So it just increases his cost. And when I heard 8%, it really, bothered me a little bit because that's a very expensive closing ratio. Now, in his case, every commission that's earned by his employee agents, he earns, it's his. He just pays his agents an hourly rate, I believe $18 an hour. But again, he was looking for a better lead quality. So instead of me immediately jumping into my CRM and showing him some random examples of what our inbound sound like, I took it further and I asked him if I can hear what he was doing over the telephone. Because obviously, as a lead vendor, we want to make sure that the people we sell leads to aren't just burning leads in the first 15 seconds or 60 seconds of the buffer. We want to make sure they know how to pick up the phone, or else it doesn't even make sense. So he went ahead, shared with me what he does, shared with me a couple audios. And basically what I gathered within 4 or 5 audios that I listened to is that their presentation wasn't much longer than 10 minutes. In fact, most of them were about 5 minutes in length. So imagine that, 5 to 10 minutes average on the phone talking to these people about final expense. And for those of you guys asking, well, what are they saying? I took down some notes, and this is a framework of basically the way these agents are pitching every single day, and they're closing 8%. And I'll read it to you because I actually wrote down this script. Good morning. This is Johnny Carpenter. How can I help you? The customer's on the phone. Hey, well, is this quote for yourself or for a loved one? Now, I'm a broker. I represent over 25 A-rated insurance companies that specialize in final expense. And the way these policies works is pretty simple. They are contingent on how you answer health as well as your age. So what we have to do at this point in time is fill out an application, submit it to the insurance company to see if you qualify. Now, I won't need any money from you today to qualify you. But in the event I do find something that makes sense, do you have an active checking or savings account? Okay. Now, when was the last time you were in the hospital? Do you have any heart, liver, or lung problems? Any cancer, stroke, or circulation or kidney problems? And are you taking any medications? All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, here is a carrier that will qualify you for, and here are your three options. Basically, every single one of those presentations, ladies and gentlemen, was basically in that type of lingo, just like I laid out. We're going to submit an application to the carrier to see if you qualify. No money required today. They ask a bunch of simple health questions, and they come back with some rates and the name of the carrier, and they're asking for the close. When I saw that, the first thing that I told this gentleman was, look, if I sell you leads, what makes you think what you're doing now is going to change because of the lead quality that I'm sending you? And I was able to show him that regardless of the lead quality, if the agents do not know how to sell and don't know how to close, you're going to have lower closing ratios. Think about this. Within 5 minutes, the agent's expected to build rapport, establish a need, find a solution, and close. It's impossible. I'm not saying that you're going to have to take an hour or two on the phone with each person, not at all. But what I am saying is that if you're spending less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes on the phone pitching rates and carriers, your closing ratios are going to be lower. And regardless of the lead quality, it's not going to change. And think about this. Let's do the math, okay? Let's do the math here. Okay, let's say this gentleman right now he's doing $10,000 a week. Let's say he's buying 200 leads a week for his group, right? 200 leads times 8%, that's 16 applications times $650 in AP, that's $10,000 in annualized premium. Now, all of that commission goes to him, but how much did he spend in leads? 200, $10,000. So he just broke even on the leads. And then on top of this, he has to pay for the employee salary. So as you can see, I know that in the insurance business, there's a value in long-term business, right? But if you're breaking even or you're in the negative as an agency owner, how do you improve your numbers? Again, it goes back to closing. And as you saw in their presentation, I'm being literal here. That was really that presentation. as you heard it. It's impossible to build rapport, build trust, and close. You got to take time. You got to explain to clients every part of the policy, because people, again, need all that information. And it's not just about drop-in rates and carriers. It's not auto insurance. I'll give you guys an example. Last year, I was able to see a lot of Medicare startups begin, especially Medicare groups where they're paying, again, salaries to agents to sell Medicare. And this year, I've seen a couple groups doing the same thing. But let me explain to you guys how important closing is. And we're talking about Medicare. So last year, this particular group that I was able to provide leads to was hiring agents for Medicare, licensed, and they would provide them an employee package, 18, 20 bucks an hour, working from home. And the training was maybe 2 days. They went off, made sales, and they were closing less than 10% of the Medicare leads that they were receiving. Now, I'm not a Medicare expert, but listen up. This year, in fact, in the past 2 months, I've seen another startup that's selling Medicare. And when they hire an agent, which is coming on board as an employee, selling Medicare, how long do you think their training lasts? 2 days? 3 days? How about 5 weeks? Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week of training before any of those agents get on the phone and start engaging in business. And their closing ratio, this specific agency, is between 17 and 22% average in closing. For some of you, you might think, man, 5 weeks of training, what is this? For others, you might see the value in that, especially when you compare that one group is doing 10% and the other group is doing 17 to 22%. That difference of almost double is huge when you're looking at insurance sales and production. So closing and knowing what to do is extremely important. Knowing how to make a presentation is extremely important. So I hope for all of you guys listening here today, if you're running an agency, whether you're paying for their leads or you have sub-agents that they're buying their leads, that you take the time today and make sure that your agents do know how to close, do know how to sell, and truly know how to build rapport, build trust, establish the need, paint a mental picture of death, provide a solution, and explain everything. Because without that, as Brian Tracy famously said, you cannot close somebody unless you've provided all the information necessary for them to make a buying decision. But again, you can't do it all, especially with funeral insurance, within 5 minutes. And a lot of agents are doing this every single day. I'm a broker. I represent 1 million carriers. I'm going to do the shopping for you. They do the shopping for you. They come back and ask for the close, and the customer doesn't buy. And in most cases, those agents don't know what else to do because they never built no value. They were just slinging rates and carriers. Simple as that. Now, for all of you guys that are asking yourself, well, let's check out the quality, right? because after that, I did share with this agency owner the quality of our leads. And I figure for the sake of conversation, I'll share it with you guys as well. And I'm just going to pull random numbers. And you be the judge of this. There's no perfect lead. But one of the things that I've been really pushing the last few months is customer initiated final expense inbounds. They are the hottest lead. In fact, I no longer do live transfers. Simply put, because the cost for an inbound compared to the cost to a live transfer, yes, it's a little bit more money, but I wipe out any kind of liability in terms of TNC and DNC compliance. And that right there is priceless. The days of dialing out, those days are pretty much gone for me. So it's all about inbounds. The cost is right. And again, if you know how to close, you'll be able to duplicate yourself and do it all over again. So let's check out some audio clips just to give you guys just a view of what this quality looks like. And again, we're just going to pull some random numbers here. 60 seconds.
Here, the senior agent with the online file expense department. I can help you find coverage in one week. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Robert Needham.
Hold on a second, sir. Let me, I can barely hear you.
And I'm going to let you guys listen.
Please
60
bear with
seconds.
me. Just make sure the, let's see here.
These are people calling in to our ads looking for what? A final expense insurance quote.
Please bear with me here, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And what'd you say your name was again?
Robert Needham.
Robert Needham. Okay. Please bear with me here.
Listen, no resistance. These people are calling us in real time.
Now, what state are you calling from, Mr. Needham?
Southern Spring, Texas.
State of Texas. Now, is this coverage just for you today, or do you need rates for others in your family as well?
No, just for me.
Boom.
Okay,
Think
great.
about what he said. Just for
Now,
me.
okay.
Think about that. Let's get another one. Another random one.
Good afternoon. This is Kyle Colvis in the Final Expense Online Department. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
This is Billy Harbor.
Hey, Billy. How are you?
I'm doing all right, I reckon.
Good to hear that. So, Billy, were you looking for a quote for yourself today or a loved one?
For myself.
There we go. We're at 30
Okay,
seconds in, and he says, I'm calling in for a quote for myself. Let's do another one.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's go to another one. Just random one.
Hello, this is Javier. I'm a senior agent with the Online Final Expense Department. I can help you find coverage and warn a recorded line. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Once again, that is not a billable. 33 seconds. There's no one on that line. These are real-time inbounds, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see. And let's see, one more for you guys.
Good afternoon. This is Adam in the Final Expense Online department. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Richard Morris.
Hi, Richard. It's a pleasure to meet you. Were you looking for this quote for yourself or for a loved one?
For myself.
Boom.
All right. What state are you calling from?
22 seconds in, they're saying, I'm looking for this coverage for myself. Now, if you're watching this, think about this for a second. Okay, let's listen to another one here. Okay, that one's not a lead, but every call that's coming into the CRM is registered. So there's no guesswork.
Good afternoon. This is Adam Bursan in the Final Expense Online department. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Oh, Sammy Weatherford.
Samuel?
Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. Were you looking for this quote for yourself or a loved one?
For myself.
Boom.
For yourself? Okay.
So guys, this is just a preview of the quality. Is there a perfect lead? No. But there's one thing I can tell you. An inbound lead, within seconds of that person making that call into our advertisement, you are on the phone with that person, talking to that person, and pitching that person. But I will tell you, like I told that agency owner yesterday, if you're spending 5 minutes or less than 10 minutes on the phone expecting to build rapport, establish a need, paint the mental picture of death, and then attempt to close, your closing ratios are going to suffer. On the other hand, if you take some time, train your people on how to close these deals by taking time to help your client, your closing ratios will be higher because of the amount of value you bring into each one of your clients. And for that training, I will post it here in the bottom section. Check it out. You will see exactly how I train agents on how to sell insurance, how to close a deal. And it's not taking an hour. Our average presentation is 20 to 30 minutes in terms of a presentation before we start asking the closing questions. Again, by simply doing this, pitching rates, carriers, it's not about that. You got to provide value. Put yourself in your customer's shoes and someone out of the blue called you up and within 5 minutes, you're having to make a buying decision and all they do is just give you rates and the name of the carrier and ask you a couple health questions. I doubt you would buy from that person too. I'm pretty sure you would say, let me think about it. You know what? Let me call me back, send me some information. So I hope this information helped you guys. Again, it's not always changing your leads. Sometimes you just got to improve your training system, better your closing strategy, and you'll see your numbers grow. I won't say that having a good quality lead system don't help. It does. But I would rather you work on your closing and sales ability before you switch out your current lead vendor. Peace.